Enter the world of biblical humanities, where an enriching symphony for the mind, heart, and soul plays at the crossroads of the Bible and the humanities. Hello, I'm Jessie Lee from the HuBIL Center based in South Korea. On July 2, 2021, South Korea's designation as a developed nation was confirmed by the United Nations Conference on Trade and Development. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs of South Korea states that this acknowledgement reflects the nation's global economic standing and international influence. Notable achievements such as being the 10th largest economy worldwide, hosting the 2021 P4G Seoul Summit, and participating in the G7 Summit contribute to this recognition. This milestone marks an official validation of South Korea's existing classification as a developed nation across various international metrics. It signifies an opportunity for South Korea to assume international roles and responsibilities commensurate with its status. I anticipate a future where South Korea actively aids developing nations and fosters smoother relations between developed and developing countries. Moreover, I foresee efforts to enhance aspects of a developed nation, including its political, economic, societal, and cultural dimensions. Professor Nuri Kim of Chung-Ang University highlighted a concerning aspect: despite South Korea's remarkable economic progress and internationally recognized political democratization, for 15 consecutive years, South Korea has held the highest suicide rate among OECD countries. The youth suicide rate stands at 3 to 4 times the global average, largely attributed to intense competition. With 1 in 3 young individuals experiencing suicidal ideation, the elderly suicide rate is 10 times the global average, primarily due to elderly poverty, with a staggering 44% poverty rate recorded in 2016. By comparison, Denmark's poverty rate is a mere 1.4%, and the Netherlands is just 3%. These statistics depict a distressing reality for South Korea's elderly population, living in a state of despair with dim prospects for the future. Furthermore, South Korea has emerged as the most unequal nation globally. Examining wealth distribution, it becomes evident that the top 1% of South Koreans possess approximately 26% of all assets, with the top 10% controlling 66%. While the bottom 50% holds a mere 2%. Real estate ownership paints an even bleaker picture. The top 1% of South Koreans lay claim to 55%, and the top 10% to a staggering 97.6%, leaving a mere 2% for the remaining 90% of the population. These figures underscore the severity of economic inequality in South Korea, surpassing expectations. Economist Tae-in Young, utilizing Thomas Piketty's Beta Index, which compares the net worth of households and governments to the net income of the population, reveals an unprecedented level of inequality in South Korea's capitalist history. A high beta signifies that asset income grows faster than labor income, highlighting the accumulation and inheritance of unearned income from rising real estate values, rental income, and interest and dividend earnings from other assets, surpassing the pace of labor income growth. Moreover, the labor landscape in South Korea is emblematic of the coined term, Hell Joseon, reflecting the country's harsh working conditions akin to hell. South Koreans endure the longest working hours globally, with an average of 2,000 to 2,300 hours annually. Approximately 5 months more than their German counterparts who work 1,300 hours per year. This excessive workload extends beyond adults, impacting Korean children who face intense academic competition from a young age, leading to the highest rates of childhood depression worldwide. Additionally, South Korea holds the unfortunate distinction of having the highest occupational fatality rate globally, consistently ranking first among OECD countries, with only 2 exceptions from 1994 to 2016. While our material comfort has undoubtedly improved over time, the question arises: why has our society become so unequal and precarious? Professor Nuri Kim identifies the breakdown of community as a primary cause. The once strong social bonds that fostered mutual assistance in times of need have eroded, leading to South Korea ranking last in the social interactions category of the OECD's quality of life indicators. Additionally, he highlights the emergence of patrimonial capitalism, a term coined by Piketty, characterized by inheritance-based wealth accumulation, resulting in a winner-takes-all society where wealth, power, and opportunities are concentrated. Furthermore, the phenomenon of academic stratification exacerbates these disparities. The upheavals of the Japanese occupation and the Korean War disrupted existing power structures, leading to the birth of an unprecedentedly egalitarian society. However, the academic elite has since monopolized this space of classless equality. Professor Kim further identifies a crucial factor underlying the phenomenon of Hell Joseon. The overwhelming majority of lawmakers in the Korean legislature staunchly advocate for a free market economy. Approximately 290 out of 300 legislators prioritize maximizing corporate, market, and capital freedom over human freedom. This stands in stark contrast to the political landscape of the German Bundestag from 2013 to 2017. Notably, none of the 631 members advocated for a free market economy, as the Free Democratic Party failed to meet the 5% threshold to enter parliament. Instead, the Bundestag was dominated by parties advocating for variations of market economies, such as the Christian Democratic Union. Promoting a social market economy, the Social Democratic Party advocating for a social democratic market economy, the Greens advocating for an ecological market economy, and the Left Party supporting leftist policies. While these market economies differ in their approach to addressing market ills like unemployment and inequality, they all agree that fundamental aspects of human dignity such as education, healthcare, and housing should not be subject to market forces. Professor Kim makes a compelling argument about the stark disparity between legislation crafted to promote human freedom and dignity versus legislation prioritizing the freedom of corporations, markets, and capital. These legislative approaches shape the social realities of both Germany, an established developed nation, and South Korea, which is transitioning into the developed world. Without innovative legislation addressing education, housing, employment, and other facets of inequality excluding healthcare, it's challenging to foresee the societal toll in the future. Consider the case of the United Kingdom, which previously grappled with the highest occupational fatality rate in Europe. To combat this, the country implemented the groundbreaking Corporate Manslaughter and Corporate Homicide Act in 2007, significantly increasing penalties for corporations and leading to a notable reduction in workplace fatalities, now boasting the lowest rate in Europe. In contrast, the passage of a bill by South Korea's National Assembly on January 8, 2021 to penalize corporations for major accidents, dubbed the Kim Yong-gyun Act without Kim Yong-gyun, epitomizes the Assembly's lingering adherence to a neoliberal mindset. This example underscores the concerning state of South Korea's legislative landscape. How can we expect a flourishing society when crucial aspects like education, housing, and employment, foundational for experiencing today's simple realities and envisioning a prosperous future, are governed by unequal and unjust regulations? It's ironic that despite our long-standing aspiration to achieve developed nation status, we find ourselves entrenched in a cutthroat competitive system driven by materialism and a demeaning, gapjil culture, where senior managers abuse their power. It's disheartening to realize that the society we've longed for fails to provide young and elderly individuals with the basic luxuries of a decent life and happiness. In light of these sobering realities, I'd like to introduce a novel that delves into the complexities of personal and communal dreams, The Great Gatsby. This timeless work, published in 1925, serves as a poignant reflection of American society and resonates with our own. Authored by F. Scott Fitzgerald, it stands as his final masterpiece before his untimely death at age 44. Ranking second on the list of the greatest 20th century novels in the English language. Widely studied in American schools and universities, with annual sales of 300,000 copies in the US, it holds a revered place in literary circles. Even Haruki Murakami, celebrated in South Korea, regards it as his finest work, finding solace and inspiration in its pages whenever he turns to it. Such profound literary treasures are rare in our lives. Your contemplation on the necessity of societal reform to ensure a secure and dignified existence for all is deeply valued. I trust this exploration has been enlightening for you. I eagerly await our next exchange.